huge news here. So we have the first Rasmussen poll that actually has Kamala Harris in the lead. So if you don't already know, Rasmussen is a right-wing pollster. So their polls are always off bigly with the Rasmussen polls. You also will see Remington Research, like RMG polls, which is also like adjacent to Rasmussen as well. And what's actually been happening is there's actually been a lot of polls that have been flooding from right-wing pollsters. Wick, Trafalgar, Spry Strategies, these different Republican pollsters who are flooding it. Obviously, Kamala Harris has been surging in the polls, although that seems to be kind of drying up at this point. She might be drying up a little bit. But what we can see is Rasmussen does a daily tracker here. So here we can see Rasmussen Reports' daily tracker. So this was posted a couple days ago. So it says Rasmussen Reports. We can see here that Harris-Trump back on July 23rd, it was 37.53 in favor of Trump. And then we see that it starts to rise and rise and rise. They're continuing to keep their national numbers below what was typically happening. So we can see the differences. It goes from 4. On August 8th, it starts 4, 3, 4, 4, 2, 2, 2, 10. Randomly 10 surge. Gotta love that. 10. Random 10. Random absolute value of 10 in favor of Trump. You gotta love that kind of polling. And then we get 3 zeros in a row, so 3 ties. They probably didn't want to have it go up, I guess. And then we have one leads in a row for Trump, then two leads in a row for Trump, then a 4, and then finally we break through on the first day of September. You have 47-46 for Kamala Harris. She takes the lead up 47-46. So this is huge because we can see these trends going on. And this is their daily tracker poll, so this is a little bit different from, I think this is different from when they actually release their polls. But even in the polls that they release, they actually had a trend going where it was like +7, +3, +2, and then +1. And so even those are surging in favor of Harris at this point. So it's a little bit different. This is their daily tracker poll. But what we can see is most hilarious. We can see this graph here. Obviously, Kamala Harris took the lead on the 1st of September. But let's see how the fans of Rasmussen reacted. This is pretty funny. So it's a new series, an old series, Blank's own fans, turn on them if you're new to this. So we can see a guy named Dr. Etiquette says, I don't know one Harris supporter and I'm in sales in New Jersey. Don't you go the way of fake ABC fake news and other rigged polls, Rasmussen? Don't you do it? This is just this looks to just be a parody here, so it's just a parody account making fun of this. It doesn't matter how bad Democrat candidate is. Trump is obnoxious. He makes him unelectable. Honest, so that's obviously not an anti tweet. This is a guy named Freeman, Life, Liberty, Happiness, and Memes. He says, honestly, how could anyone want to vote for Harris at this point? And then we got this one who's a Republican account, I guess. This says, I respect Rasmussen, but a 5-point swing in 2 days would be one thing if Harris was good at this, but she is not. So this is actually an interesting one because that is a pretty large shift to randomly happen like out of nowhere. But I guess it gets kind of, if we can come to agreement that Rasmussen polls suck, I would be down to meet you in the middle to be like, hey man, Rasmussen polls just suck. And so it doesn't make sense you have this weird sort of surge randomly where it's like from 4, that's a 5-point surge in what, like 2 or 3 days or whatever. It's a pretty massive surge, and it was going in the opposite direction, so it does seem pretty unlikely for it to happen. But you can see this kind of thing. And then this person is saying that he doesn't care that it's Republican and that kind of thing, but so he's kind of going away from that. But outlier perhaps is another tweet. This is not the battleground states, so someone else. This is the way that you end up coping with it. Is, hey, this national Rasmussen numbers. They're not battleground states. They're not battleground states. That's kind of the way to go. So there's another MAGA account. We got the Rudy Giuliani retweets. We got the Trump War Room retweets. Elon Musk. So we got a true Trumpster here. And then here, what we got, this kind of thing. I truly don't understand this is another tweet that says, you know what I mean? And then you have someone saying liberals, what the fuck, I love Rasmussen kind of thing. And so this is this kind of a thing. Rasmussen, you are better than this. What has Kamala done in recent days that would cause her to lead now in the polls? Amazing. People want communism. Calm down, people. This is one night of results. So some conservatives trying to calm people down. How is Harris ahead? Oh, maybe that has something to do with all the media and most social media sites showing only good things about her and bad things about Trump. To be fair, they've been doing a lot of downplaying of Kamala Harris's poll numbers as well as trying to do weird fact checks of things that don't really make any sense for Trump and running fire for him. So I honestly don't even think that's like fully true. But even leftist polls with leftist friends look like this, and you can see Donald Trump destroying. Donald Trump wins every Twitter poll, but I created a law called Twitter's Law Twitter's law actually says that whatever politician is winning the poll is actually losing in real life if they're losing on Twitter. So we can see people are going really, really crazy, losing their mind about this. Outlier. This is what's kind of going on. So it's clearly an outlier. How is this possible? Not true. My heart can't take this. I've seen one Harris sign. Awful. No one believes this. Outlier or panic inducing. Um, yeah, trust the results when they're good and bad. Thanks for the accurate reporting. So someone trying to be like, okay, I can't like flip flop on here. You might want to explain there's a very large margin of error with these these daily results. So you got to add in the details now that it's flipped in favor of Kamala Harris. So these polls, Rasmussen is their daily tracker. So finally, Kamala Harris is taking the lead for the first time. They had 3 days of straight zeros zeroed out. I don't know if they're trying to kind of control things to make sure that she didn't take the lead there, but I don't know why they decided to do it this time. Finally, maybe they couldn't kind of set these numbers up. But Rasmussen polls are actually so bad that 538 actually doesn't even cover them. It doesn't actually cover them anymore. So the only place you can find them is in the Decision Desk HQ numbers. So the Decision Desk HQ / the Hill numbers. So if we take a look here at the national numbers, she's leading by 4% in the average. Here in the Decision Desk HQ average numbers we can see. And we can also check out what some of the actual published Rasmussen polls that are not from the daily tracker are. But if we look here and kind of look here, so Rasmussen has +2 Trump in August 22 through 28. Then if we try looking for backwards, going to Rasmussen, +3, so a 1 surge for Rasmussen, for Harris in the Rasmussen poll. And then a +4, so you can see monotonically decreasing sequence, right, we can see. And then, we have another one, +5, right? So it keeps down, 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 right? It's like that one Jay Sean song. It's like down, 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 right? This is where you're going +5, another one staying at +5. And then, it just kind of keeps going in this way. And so this one's +7, right, in late July. And so we have this big shift even in the Rasmussen polls. But right now there's this big shift going on where a bunch of right-wing pollsters are attempting to flood the polling market. And so they've finally broken through. Even Rasmussen has now broken through. So it looks to be the last one there. So +7, and then now it's all the way down to +2. And in the daily tracker, she has taken the lead for the first time. So the fans of Rasmussen and Trump seeming to really lose their minds. And this is kind of the only poll left that was kind of showing them in the lead. There are some of these polls that they're trying to flood the market with, but even a lot of those will struggle to have Trump up in the national numbers. Usually they'll only have him up in like swing state polls. It's pretty hard to have him up even in the national numbers. So beware of all the terrible pollsters that are coming out. Active Vote is a bad pollster, and then you have Trafalgar, Spry, Wick, all these like terrible partisan, rated pollsters. A lot of these just like really, really bad pollsters. So really, really big news. Rasmussen's own fans has turned on them.